everyone, BMW are discontinuing the i8. In April 2020, BMW are stopping production of this car, and I think it's a bit of a shame because unlike some of the stuff that BMW are making nowadays, which is dreadful, gritty, horrible looking, vile things, this one is rather stylish. In fact, it's so stylish it's basically a concept car for the road. The main reason why I'm driving one of these today is because I want to see why BMW are discontinuing these, because I've yet to have driven an i8, so I want to know what it's like from my personal opinion. And secondly, these cars, like most BMWs, have depreciated to the point where they have become affordable. So what's it like when driving this car basically like a hybrid, and is it much fun as a sports car? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to go for a drive. Right then, a quick ad break. Ever wanted to own a car like this BMW i8? Well, you can thanks to BOTB.com, the dream car competition company. Yes, you can win something like a brand new £120,000 BMW i8 Hybrid Sportscar for just £5.50. BOTB.com also has a wide range of many other cars, stuff like Porsches, Mercedes, Aston Martins, and many more. So if this isn't your cup of tea, then don't worry. You can choose many other cars for as little as 85p. To enter, you need to be 16 or over in a chance to win something like this BMW i8, and even £20,000 in cash, and more importantly, 1 year's free servicing and 1 year's free insurance. So what are you waiting for? Click the links down below to find out. Now, back to the review. Okay then, so BMW i8. So I've been driving this car now for a few days, and I've been driving it in a manner of how a hybrid car should be driven. So a bit of town driving, a bit of motorway driving, and then some country A and B roads. And it's been pretty cool. When I hit the starter button, like most EVs, or hybrid shall I say, you get that little bling, which almost sounds like the song Extension, which is quite hilarious. So weird for a car like this to pull away in electric mode because it looks rather exciting. So out back we've got a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder mini engine. The front we've got some electric motors. Combined it gives a total of 380 horsepower, and it's mated to a 6-speed automatic gearbox. This car's got an aluminium and carbon plastic tub, so it's relatively light for the powertrain. This one weighs just over 1,500 kilograms, and performance stats is brisk. In fact, more than brisk. It's really quick. 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds onto a limited top speed of 155 miles an hour. In total, it makes 420 pounds-feet of torque, and that's virtually all at zip RPM. But I'm driving it in e-power mode, and once it's fully charged, you can get around 20 miles of pure electric driving for speeds up to 70-ish miles an hour, which is actually not too bad. But in weather like today, dependent on temperature and where your aircon's on, etc., you're looking at around 15 miles. Now, I haven't actually plugged or charged this car up properly from a main socket or anything like that. I've been using the 3-cylinder 1.5 litre engine to charge it up, and then what I do then is when I get to a town or something like that, I then drive it in EV mode. But this channel's not about driving EVs all the time. Well, it is, but it's more about driving cars properly, and I want to know, is this actually a proper sports car in its roots? Is it the ultimate driving machine? Well, to find out, I just knocked the gearbox over to sport. The 3-cylinder now sort of barks in. Play back with the paddles. You get a thrummy 3-cylinder soundtrack, which is all sort of piped in through the speakers. It's not a fake noise, it's sort of more like amplified. It does make that sort of similar soundtrack in the background too. I don't think the camera can pick up exactly. The EV motor starts to kick in, and you get this sort of that whine. It's very sci-fi in the soundtrack it makes, and it's cool. A lot of people think that the i8 is a supercar, and I can sort of understand that because the doors go up, and you know, it has got the flamboyance of look at me, I'm very shouty. But on paper at least, it's got the performance of, say, a Porsche Cayman GT4, and performance is good. It's not crazy fast, which I actually like. It's actually got usable performance and you can't get into much trouble. Steering, even though it's electrically power assisted, is actually nice. It's a bit too light. Decent sort of idea of what's going on with the front end. It's not fully engaging, but it's very, very accurate, and I can place the car exactly where I need to be on the road. One thing that I am very impressed by this car is the ride. The ride is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's not too stiff, it's not too soft, but it's got good damping, good control. No matter what surface you're on, it seems to be okay, and it just deals with it, which is excellent. The gearbox isn't too bad. For an auto, it blips on the downshifts pretty okay. Sometimes when you get a little bit too greedy or drive it a little bit aggressive, it doesn't want to change down exactly when you want it to. However, it's good nonetheless. So we've got 215 section tyres on the front, and I can't remember what they are on the rear, but it's skinny nonetheless. And that's the biggest disappointment to what everybody has said about the i8, the fact that it doesn't have much grip. Obviously that's because of eco reasons, and to get that 100 on MPG figure up is to have skinny tyres. It helps with the airflow. In my head I was thinking, well, if it's got skinny tyres, less grip, it would be more fun on the road and you'll get some nice playful oversteer, because really it's mid-engine, and even though it's all-wheel drive, it's more to the rear because you've got the combustion engine. But this car's chassis, unfortunately, isn't set up for fun. In fact, diving to a corner a bit too fast, you just get a bit of understeer, and there's no modulation on the throttle. You can't get the rear end to play in or anything like that, which is a little bit of a shame. However, if you just want to get round the corner or drive it, you know, really fast and almost light-heartedly quick without too much focus, then yeah, it's okay. It's not too bad. But if you combine the way it drives and handles compared to how usable it is, and what I mean usable in terms of how you can just drive it every day, it's good. It's really good. It's less sort of a pain in the arse than I would have expected, because most supercars, let's be honest, okay, a lot of manufacturers say that you can use them every day, but most of the time you can't. And this you can. It's very, very nice. The interior is typical BMW. That's not a bad thing, that's not a good thing either. It's just good. You've got a nice heads-up display, the iDrive's really good, and even though this is a 5-year-old cabin design, it's still contemporary. You've got really good heads-up display. Yeah, it's quite good. There is some bad points. It's a 2+2, and when a car manufacturer says it's a 2+2, means it's a 2-seater. You can't get no one in the back. You couldn't even put kids in the back. That would be child abuse. So, and the boot is a little bit too small, and if you're carrying anything like a box of ice cream or a cake or some chocolate bars, expect it to melt, because that's where that little peppy 3-cylinder sits right next to it, and it can get really warm. So we've talked about the EV range, which is okay, it's pretty handy around town. We talked about the way it handles, which is good up to 7 temps. The next thing I want to talk about is how much you can get these cars for, because this car, when new, with all its goodies, was £120,000. In fact, some of them were fetching for £10,000 or £15,000 premiums, which is quite a lot. And now you can pick one of these up, this very car, which has been kindly lent to me by Junction 17 Cars, which has covered 20,000 miles for £45,000. So should you buy a BMW i8 at that sort of money? Well, you've got to be a particular person to own something like this. If you want a car that you really want to look good in, that's really stylish, that turns heads pretty much anywhere you go. In fact, I was following an Audi R8 the other day, and this was getting more attention than the R8. And you want something that's fast, that can sort of look after you in any sort of condition. Yeah, I think why not? You got to remember, it's tax exempt, it's congestion charge exempt if you live in London. Right then, that sums up everything you need to know about the BMW i8. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe as always. More content to come as well too. Thank you very much to Junction 17 Cars for lending this to me. Follow the links down below if you want to buy this very car. It's up for sale. Until next time guys, goodbye.